Everyone, I'm here with my first book announcement as far as the book that I'm going to encourage any followers. Again, I'm only hoping for one follower for my first book review on a Bill Gates Notes book recommendation. And so, big list of books that I'd like to cover. I got to start with one. And the first book that I'm going to cover is a book called These Truths, A History of the United States. So I have my book. I have my copy. I've already started reading it. And like many people, my personal knowledge on the history of the United States kind of stopped around. It's sad to say, my my knowledge is pretty sad, but I never took another class after sophomore year when we studied the Constitution, and so I'm 35 now, and I have not taken a class on history, on American history, since my sophomore year. And before that, it was sixth grade. So sophomore year, you're roughly 14 years old. And I don't even know how old you are in sixth grade, but suffice to say that my knowledge on the topic is poor and lacking, and I want to improve that. And so I'm not an expert. I'm going to read this book, and my plan is to read it actually twice. I'm going to read each chapter a first time, just kind of read and go through it as I normally would. And then the second time, I'm going to take Bill Gates' recommendations and take notes. And then each chapter, I'm going to highlight the most important, the most interesting notes. So it's I've already started reading it, and it's really interesting to kind of think about history in the sense of, what's been recorded, the recorded history, and how can you even put recorded history into a book without leaving parts out. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking this book and summarizing, giving my summary of a summary of history. And so the book is a summary of history, and then I'm going to be summarizing that to the best of my ability by reading it once, taking notes on it a second reading, and then putting my summary onto YouTube. And so hopefully, as a person who is a teacher of technical computer software, I know that, in the act of teaching, you become more of an expert. And so that's kind of really what my goal is for myself, is to learn this, but learn it on somewhat of a deeper level. And if I can get other people reading these books along with me and then following along, and then ideally opening up a conversation on YouTube. I read chapter 1. These are the topics that I found most interesting and worth of my notes. What did I miss? What did I leave out? What did the book leave out? What's missing? And if I can spark a conversation, and then what happens? And then it gets deeper, and the learning and the comprehension gets deeper. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to improve my knowledge of my 14-year-old. It's so sad. My 14-year-old comprehension of history, because it's pathetic, and I'm really looking forward to learning something about history. And I know that if I can get as excited as I am about this towards other books that he recommends, this is going to be worth my time and something that I enjoy doing. But it is new. It is rough. Bear with me. Have a little bit of patience. A couple things that I thought I'd point out, just couple of things out there on online. This is what Bill Gates summarize this book. I've read a lot of books about history over the years, and These Truths by Jill Lepore is the most honest and unflinching account of American history I've ever seen. It is also one of the most beautifully written. One thing that I picked up about this book when I bought it, New York Times bestseller, that's great. But who is Jill Lepore? And so on the back, you get a little author biography, who this person is. And again, I like to have idols in my life. And the reason I like to have idols is they are my, they are my shining star for the person that I want to become. And I want to do the things that my idols do, and I want to be like my idols. But in that concept is that there are a lot of people or not a lot of people, there are a few people that I listen to and that I follow their advice. Okay, Bill Gates is one of those people that I want to idolize and follow his advice. That's the whole reason for this reading is to he advises reading these books and to become smarter. Anyways, it's important who you listen to. You just don't want to listen to anyone out on the internet. Everyone has an opinion. And this author, Jill Lepore, she is a Harvard University professor of history. If you're going to learn history, is there anyone better than a Harvard professor? Professor of American History at Harvard University. I'm sure it's a rhetorical question. I'm sure there's people that would be better to learn history from, but obviously, it's a good place to go. Okay, that's what Bill Gates says. Let's also take a look at this short YouTube clip.
These Truths by Jill Lepore. A lot of people, once you leave school, you really never go through the broad scope of American history again. She brings this lens of looking backwards. How do we compare to other countries? What was controversial? What hung in the balance? Particularly slavery and gender and immigrants. I think the book is very worth reading. Why we?
So that's funny. At the end of the day, I just think it's worth reading. I do too. And then there's on his actual blog itself, there's a little bit more in depth. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna recommend gatesnotes.com/book/these truths for an eye-opening history of the United States. So keep this video about under 10 minutes. First book of the vlog of the booktuber series. I hope that there are many more videos to come. Last thing, as all YouTubers, please subscribe. If you look forward to my future updates on my reviews and open the discussion around this topic. And also, in addition to subscribing on YouTube, join the mailing list, and I'll have a list for updates. And so the topic is Gates Notes Book Club, and so the mailing list is to stay up to date on what books we're reading and where we are at. Again, right now what I'm looking for is my first book club member. So what I need is YouTube to spit this out to some random internet people, and I look forward to interacting with random folks out there that have a passion to learn, such as I do. All right, thanks everyone. Read good books and be good people. That's my cheesy sign off.